Hello Jamaica, welcome to Sports Unwrapped, Gleaner's weekly online sports review. My name is Leighton Levy. Big news in cricket today. Chris Gayle slams a big century in Sri Lanka. I'll tell you more about the records that 333 set, and of course what it means for the West Indies, and of course their concerns as well that nobody else got 100. But after the break.
Just it's time to get in the game and win big money and all the sports you love. Football, basketball, or cricket, NFL, or track and field. And more. If you watch it, you can probably bet. And so pick your matches, place your bets, and win some money for real. Listen. The more matches you bet, and the bigger the winnings. It's easy. Get your money at Green Venture Sports Betting Vendors island-wide. Just bet your game, your passion. You must be 18 and over to play. Just bet.
Welcome back to Gleaner's Sports Unwrapped, the Gleaner's weekly sports review. My name is Leighton Levy. Of course, the big news in Test cricket today, Chris Gayle, playing in Galle for the West Indies, scored 333 today. He set a whole bunch of records. Of course, the West Indies made 580 for 9 declared, and Sri Lanka 54 for 1, chasing that mammoth total. But Chris Gayle's total, 333, he joined a handful of batsmen who have done significant things in terms of Test cricket, in terms of triple centuries. Of course, the triple century that Gayle set today surpasses Viv Richards' 291 that was set against England in 1976. That was the highest total made overseas against for a West Indian player. Of course, the innings also marks Gayle's highest individual score, surpassing the 317 he made against South Africa in 2005. Gayle's 333 is also the 5th highest score by any batsman playing overseas, falling behind Hanif Mohammed's 337, the Wally Hammond's 336, and of course Mark Taylor's 334, Sir Donald Bradman's 334. Amazing accomplishment for Chris Gayle as the West Indies set what was their largest total in a while against Sri Lanka in the first test at Galle. But Chris Gayle's century also means a lot in terms of triple centurions, because when you look at the fact that Chris Gayle joins only a handful of batsmen, actually 4 batsmen who have made a triple century twice. Virendra Sehwag, Brian Lara, and of course the great Sir Donald Bradman. Chris Gayle is setting himself up to becoming one of the West Indians' great batsmen, if only he was playing on a team that was able to win. Now, the West Indies are set up very nicely in this match against Sri Lanka, 580 for 9, and Sri Lanka are 54 for 1. It stands to reason that the West Indies will draw this match, and given the fact that Chris Gayle will single-handedly put West Indies in a situation to be able to draw this match, or at least not come away with a loss for a team that is used to losing. Now, we're going to take a break in a little bit, but when we come back, we're going to talk a little bit more about the fact that nobody else on the West Indies team did well enough to make a century in this match on a pitch that we should have been able to do so.
Just it's time to get in the game and win big money and all the sports you love. Football, basketball, or cricket, NFL, or track and field. And more. If you watch it, you can probably bet. And so pick your matches, place your bets, and win some money for real. Listen. The more matches you bet, and the bigger the winnings. It's easy. Get your money at Green Venture Sports Betting Vendors island-wide. Just bet your game, your passion. You must be 18 and over to play. Just bet.
West Indies 580 for 9, Chris Gayle 333. That means 247 of those runs were made by the other West Indies players, none of whom managed to go on and make a century. Now that's a big problem. Now this is why. When you look at the fact that Chris Gayle scored more than 50% of the runs that the West Indies made, and the only other people who managed to get to a half century were Brendan Nash with 64, Darren Bravo with 58, and Adrian Barath with 50 on a pitch that had not yet begun to take turn. The collapse of the batting in the middle of the order is cause for severe concern. When you look at the fact that Ajanta Mendes took 6 wickets for 159 runs, and it could have been worse had the West Indies not declared, or had he been a little bit luckier earlier on in the day. Now that presents a huge problem for the West Indies, because if Sri Lanka should be able to get close to the West Indies total or even surpass it in the next 2 days, on a pitch that is taking turn, the West Indies may not be able to survive an entire session, which will give Sri Lanka enough time to win this test match. Now, it's easy to sit back and say, fine, Gayle made 333. What of the other players? The other players should be able to apply themselves, make runs, and bat spin. Learn to read the spinner. Ajant Mendes is called a mystery spinner, but the thing is, when you look at the wickets that he got, Darren Samuel this morning had no clue. Dwayne Bravo had no clue. In fact, none of the batsmen that came after 3 had any idea of how to play him. He took only 159 runs off him, yes, but the thing is, most of those runs came early in the piece when the pitch had not yet begun to take turn. Now, the fact is, for the second innings, if there's a second innings, the West Indies batsmen need to do better, because if they don't, they could very well end up losing this match for the West Indies. Well, the fact is also, the other concern that we have is that the bowlers that the West Indies have on this team for this match are not in a position to win this match for the West Indies. The pitch is not as helping the fast bowlers, and we have one spinner in Shillingford. Suleiman Ben is out because he's on a 2-match suspension. But the West Indies have gone into this match, if you ask me, one spinner short. Now, for us to be able to even save this match, it is critical that we bat, if there's a second innings, that we bat well in the second innings. Right now, it doesn't look like we're capable of doing that beyond Gayle, who's also maybe nursing an injury because of cramps. If that is the case, we are in trouble. If not, we need to do better at least for the second test match, because Chris Gayle is not the West Indies team, and he shouldn't be. We're going to take a break now and come back with our sports fact of the week before we wrap up.
Just bet. It's time to get in the game and win big money and all the sports you love. Football, basketball, or cricket, NFL, or track and field. And more. If you watch it, you can probably bet. So pick your matches, place your bets, and win some money for real. The more matches you bet, the bigger the winnings. It's easy. Get your money at Queen Venture Sports Betting Vendors Island-wide. Just bet. Your game, your passion. You must be 18 and over to play. Just bet.
Welcome back to Sports Unwrapped, Gleaner's weekly sports review. My name is Leighton as usual. The thing is, the sports fact of the week as we go until Thursday, when you'll see us again this week. Gayle is one of 4 batsmen in history to have scored 2 triple centuries. The other 3, LeBron Lara 400 and 375, Don Bradman 334 and 304, and Virender Sehwag 319 and 309. That makes Chris Gayle a special batsman in special company. That's our interesting sports fact for the week. Of course, you can catch Sports Unwrapped at sportsunwrapped and gleanerjm.com. Send us your emails and we'll respond to them on the show. And of course, catch my blog at gleanerblogs.com for interesting opinions, of course, on different sports. Cricket, track and field, racehorsing, anything. But you can catch up with us next week. In fact, on Thursday. Forgive me, I'm getting ahead of myself. For our next edition of Sports Unwrapped. Goodbye for now, and see you on Thursday.